Welcome to this heat of the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. We really do have a pan-European field. Number of nationalities represented here. They all start with 100,000 in chips, and we don't stop until one player has them all. Ian Fraser, well-known pro, is alongside me. We've got joint favourites here, Tony Bloom and William Towson, but it's a tough one to call this.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this one, Trev. It's a fantastic heat. I mean, all these guys can play good stuff.
Raise 6 total.
And we see there's a nice hand from Ash already with the ace-10. He's put a raise in here.
Allroos gets out the way.
6 total. 5 more. Pass. 4 more. Call.
Okay, Arshad made it 6,000 to play. Antonius call.
3, 5.
So Bloom calls with ace-6, and that's top pair on the flop for Hussein.
Yeah, Ash will be really loving this first hand.
8,000.
I don't think we'll be seeing any more
8,000
from
wins the hand.
Yeah.
Statement of intent from Arshad Hussein.
Yeah, as much as the amount of experience you've got, Trevor, when you come out, it's always nice. The first raise you put out and you hit your flop, you know, it just sets you off, and normally sets up the heat for you. So we'll see how it goes.
Back in play then in the early stages of this heat for the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. Button on Tony Bloom. So Hussein will speak first. Won't speak too loudly with those cards though.
No, he won't like them.
Pass. Pass.
Round to Tony Bloom, who's reaching for chips here. And no wonder. A couple of hooks there for Bloom.
Fantastic hand to start off with. He's raised it up to 6 now. Oh, and Martin's got a big hand here as well. We'll be seeing a little bit of action. This will show us how this guy's set his store out, whether he'll come over the top already or just flat call.
Well, it's only 4,000 if he wants to call.
Please.
Yeah,
Raise.
you see.
16 total.
Martin makes it 16,000 to play. Raise a 10,000 more.
10 more.
Bit of Hollywood here. No way that Bloom is going to put the jacks down. I wouldn't have thought.
You don't know. It's early on. We've only played a few hands. It's,
Tony calls.
You know, he's hoping not to see any overcards, obviously.
3.
He won't like that.
It's the one card he didn't want to see, and the one card that Martin did. He's suddenly gone from worst to first in a hurry. And look at those percentages.
Yeah, he's in big trouble if he wants to play.
He's experienced enough, you would imagine, to get away from this without too much fuss. How big's the bet going to be from more?
18,000.
He has to come out and bet here. He can't slow plays, Ace. He's got to come out and bet because he's re-raised. If he checks, then Tony Bloom's gonna know it stinks of big cards. So he's probably done himself a favour there.
Well, Bloom does throw him away, and Moore takes down a nice pot in the early stages. So here are the basics of Texas Hold'em. First of all, one person is made the nominated dealer or button. The player to the left places the small blind, then the next player places the big blind. These are bets to get the action going. All players are dealt 2 cards face down, called the hole cards. Now everyone can fold, call or raise. The first person to bet is to the left of the big blind. Now the first 3 community cards are placed in the middle. This is called the flop. These are cards for all players to use to make the best hand. Then there's another round of betting, but this time it's the player to the left of the button who goes first. The next card is dealt. This is called the turn, followed by more betting before the final card, the river. We have a final round of betting, and all players left in the hand must show their cards. The best 5-card poker hand wins the pot. It'll be a fantastic feeling for Alex Worth to have already qualified for the main event in Las Vegas. He did that online. Qualified for this TV tournament too, so he's clearly an emerging force.
Yeah, Ash has put in a raise here with ace-10. Let's see if he... The walrus is passing.
Pass. 5 more.
Torsen reaching for chips, he's got the snowmen.
And a raise. 19 total.
He raises to 19,000.
Yeah, and then
13,000 more.
ace 10's not a nice hand in, you know.
It shrinks up, doesn't it, in the
course
face of
it
a
does,
raise?
Yeah. You know, it's a nice hand to put a raise in with, but you don't really want it once someone re-raises you.
Well, he's got the better of Torsen in one hand in this heat so far.
The worst thing about it, if he calls this and flops an ace, he still don't know where he is. You know, and the same thing if he flops a 10-eye, he don't know where he is. So it's one of them that really you want to be throwing away.
Well, that heart rate is racing a wee bit. Pressure's on
Is that
here.
Ash's heart? He won 3-9, was he?
Queen. 7. And 3.
Well, now he really doesn't know where he is.
No.
It's not a bad flop for a pair of eights, though.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. It ain't a bad flop for Willie here. See what
Check.
he wants to do.
Our percentages show you how much of a favourite Torsen is, but if Hussein can persuade him that he's got a queen,
Check.
Okay, both players check.
it's gone check, check. Oh, well, bingo for Torsen. He didn't need it, but that's a fantastic feeling. He's got a set of
Check.
eights.
I'd like to see his heart rate now. I bet it's pumping.
Check.
He's almost begging Ash to put a
queen.
bet in. Full house now.
Queen.
Well, it's rising a bit, so that tells me he's going to put a little bet in here.
Well, he's got the virtual nuts.
23 total.
William bets 23,000.
It's a shame you won't be getting any action. I mean, Ash will just play around here for a little bit, and I fancy if he's throwing his cards away.
Pass.
William wins the hand.
We knew it was coming, and it's a decent pot from Torsen. Button is in front of Torsen this time.
Pass.
So Alex Worth first to act. He doesn't want any part of it.
Pass.
Hussein says no. Valrus will have a look. He says he does at least one parachute jump a day, or he has done for the past week or so. I don't imagine you do too much of that in, do you?
No, thanks.
6 to play.
Parachute out of bed.
He wants to play with suited connectors, Valrus, as long as it's cheap, which it is so far.
Pass.
Wow, Tony's got another. It's amazing. He's had the best hands around the table, and he's a short stack.
It's not going to stay cheap, is it, for Valrus?
He probably don't like these jacks.
3 raises. 22,000
It's
to
a
play.
huge raise from Blue.
20 more. Pass.
We didn't see Morse cards, but they clearly weren't very hot.
14 more. 16, sorry.
16,000 more for Valrus if he wants to see a flop with his suited connectors.
Pass.
Okay, Tony wins the hand.
Maybe because Bloom was out flopped the last time he had the jacks, he decided to make that pretty expensive to play.
Yeah, well, this is what happens. You start seeing these hands come back to you, well, you know, after you've been beat with them, and you don't like them, so you put in more chips, try and get rid of the players.
Very impressive pan-European field in this Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe heat. Not just in this heat, in the whole tournament.
Yeah, a real good mixture of players we've got here on this table. There's going to be fireworks soon with this lot, I know there is.
Yeah, it's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
Valrus looking down and seeing a suited Queen 10.
I think he'll be raising this a little bit.
6 total.
Yeah.
Pass.
Thomas makes it 6 to play.
5 more.
Over to Moore.
Well, he looks like he likes these. Let's see what they are. Yeah, a pair of 8s. Now, will he flat call or re-raise? He re-raised with his ace-queen earlier. He's flat
Call.
called.
4 more. Pass.
Martin calls.
How much does Norris like his Queen 10 suited
3.
now? What he's playing?
Well, he
Hello.
likes it now, won't he?
Wow!
Jack.
He's flopped the second nut flush.
Check.
Unless Moore has an absolute brainstorm, I think that's the end of the hand, to be fair. So I think Tony Bloom
7.
passed an 8, so we ain't got a lot of
So
chance of
it's
seeing
7,000.
another 8 coming.
He's got no clubs. There are 2 overcards. He surely can't be considering anything other than throwing him back to the dealer here.
I think you're exactly right. He's come out and bet 13,000 to Walrus, trying to make it, you know, look like a
Wins the
steal.
hand.
It's always a good move, you know. Sometimes you get the biggest pots when you play the massive hands aggressively.
I think if Walrus might have been hoping that Moore had an ace there. If he had a big ace, he might have thought about it seriously.
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah.
Saturday night in London.
We're in London for the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe.
Pass.
The lull before the storm. You can just smell a collision
Not this time.
at some
Yeah.
point.
Wait for a hand. Yeah, London. Flew in today, so.
Raise 6 total.
Worth raising it
Last
up.
weekend, though, so
Yeah, he's
second trip here in 10 days.
Pass.
he raised it up with Jack Queen, I think.
5.
Did he to 6? Let's see what the Walrus has got. Nidash.
Pass.
So round to Torsen.
Four.
Can he call Worth's raise? I think he can with those.
Oh yeah, he's nice couple of cards, King Queen here,
Cool.
so he's got Alex completely dominated if a Queen comes.
Raise 5.
Well, none of them would be liking that.
First to bet wins,
Check.
you'd suspect.
And it looks like it's going to be Alex.
$10,000.
Good continuation bet
Alex
from
bets
Worth after
10,000.
missing the flop.
Pass.
Wins the hand.
It's a good play from the 25-year-old. No way that Torsen could call, having missed the flop. Early stages, but Alex Worth will be pleased to see that he is the chip leader.
Yeah, there's not a lot of chips in it, but it's always nice to be at the top of the tree, you know, however many you're in front. So he'll be feeling really happy with himself.
Here's the Bible as to what beats what. If all else fails, you've always got your high card. Next best is 1 pair. Better still, 2 pair. After that, 3 of a kind, also called trips or a set, followed by a straight, that's 5 in a row of any suit. Next up, a flush, 5 of the same suit in any order. You'll usually win with a full house, 3 of a kind plus a pair. That's unless your opponent has 4 of a kind, also called quads. Almost unbeatable is a straight flush, 5 in a row of the same suit. And top of the pops, a royal flush, that's a straight flush, ace high. Prize pool for the final, $300,000, $120,000 to the winner.
Oh, lovely.
And
Put
almost
some
hear
petrol
you
in the car with
salivating.
that. Put some petrol in the car with that.
The blinds have gone up 2,000 and 4,000 now.
Tony passes. Let's see what this guy's picked up. He's been picking up really poor cards, hasn't he, in the last sort of 10 hands. Yeah, there you go.
Don't get much worse than that.
It'll change.
Pass.
It'll change. Let's see what Alec. 8-10. He's passed.
2 more.
Let's see what Ash has got. Well, he's got a nice little
Cool.
pair.
Any
Yeah.
race.
You don't mind putting
Depends on my cards.
a couple of thousand in to see this.
Option to raise here for Valrus.
No race.
The Jack Queen's a nice hand to catch a flop with. You don't want to be, if the other person ain't got anything, you don't want to be scaring them off with a
3,
Jack Queen.
6.
Wow, look at
Check.
this for a flop.
And we could have action here.
Check.
Top pair for Valrus and a set of sixes for Hussein.
And check.
I think he checked that a bit quick, Ash.
8.
He's got a
Check or
bet
bet?
now because of the 3 diamonds. Thomas will recheck his cards to
6.
see if he's got a diamond underneath. You watch. Oh no, he thinks the
I'll
Jack's
check
good
bet
enough
6,000.
anyway.
Cool.
He
Tom
does have the
calls.
Queen of Diamonds. A diamond would
Yeah.
work for him.
King.
So the sixes are good. That king might just save Valrus some money.
Yeah. I don't think it's the sort of pot he'll get too involved in anyway with the 3 diamonds out there. You know, he's a good player. He's played in these big events. He
20.
knows what's what.
I should bet 20,000.
King of diamonds.
He did worry about the king. Although he knows that Hussein did bet it before that king came on the river. He might want to look him up.
Cool.
Yeah,
He does.
Calls.
Ash will be double happy for that.
6. Trip
Wow.
Valrus sees the bad news. His pair of jacks
Arshad wins the
nowhere
pot.
near Hussein's set of sixes, and that was a very decent pot.
Set up.
And it's catapulted
Could have gone
Ash
broke.
Hussein to the top of the
Diamond
leaderboard.
as well.
128,000 he has.
I doubt it. Another
Valrus
diamond comes out.
down below 80,000 now.
Action on Martin. Let's see what he picks up.
400 to play. Pass. 4.
Hussein having a look. 3-6 of spades.
Pass.
And it's Thomas's button. This now Queen 7. He won't even play that on the
Pass.
button.
2 more.
Small blind, big blind.
Torsen versus Bloom.
Oh. Oh, well, he's got to be gutted. He's got no action up to now.
Call. Any race.
Let's see where Queen 7. Oh, he's going to.
Bloom
8
is
more.
falling straight.
This is like the
Into the
wedding
trap.
bells playing in your ears now when this happens, because he'll flick around here for a little while and then just flat call.
Call.
Bloom does not look happy.
No. And he
2.
does
2.
follow his bluffs through,
King.
Tony. I've seen him do it a few
Nickel bet.
times.
Check.
It ain't a bad flop for a bluff either. He knows if he checks it this time, he's got absolutely no chance of winning the pot, so he must bet now.
He's reaching again, and this is music to
15.
Torsen's ears.
If I was Willie now, I'd
15,000.
raise him. Do you know what I mean? To make it look like you got nothing. And then, but he's not going to get no action anyway because Tony's got absolute rubbish. But
He's getting quite
30.
excited, that heart rate,
There you go.
130 plus.
30,000
And it's
to
a
play.
raise then to Bloom.
yeah, that's exactly what he had to do.
Or trip jack.
And no way at all.
You got to make it look like a move and hoping that he's got something. You know, if he happened to have another pocket pair, you're going to get his chips.
And it was a reasonable attempt by Bloom initially
Yeah.
to raise when Torsen only called the blind.
So these small blind, big blinds. I mean, you don't want to get involved in them, do you? All this action for 4,000 basically for Tony early on.
Do you think on the big blind, if it's only checked to you, some players almost seem to feel obliged to bump it up, as if to
course,
say,
yeah.
you're only
Pass.
calling
William
me.
wins the hand.
And in the end, Bloom loses a few more chips than maybe he had to in that pot.
Yeah, I think Torsen will be double happy with that because they all passed around to him. He's probably thinking, oh, I've got aces and I'm not going to get a chip out of it.
And he had aces, and of course he didn't have to show them either.
No,
New
Well,
chip
yeah.
leader with 129,000.
that's it. And I think Ash has got 128, so the two of them are slightly pulling ahead of the field.
You're watching the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe from London. The 6 playing for one place at the final table, which carries a top prize of $120,000. You're guaranteed 19
Yeah.
if you win your heat.
This is the hardest bit about it, because there's obviously only one place. There's 5 losers here today. Yeah, what's the likelihood of Martin Moore picking up a hand? Well, he must think this is aces. He must think this is... I knew it. He must think they're aces. He's had such rubbish. I feel sorry for him.
Okay, Martin makes it 12,000 to play.
12,000 with his suited connectors. Alex Worth's got a playable hand, but
Well,
will he call a raise with it?
the only thing that could put him off is because the other guy ain't played an hand for an hour, you know, but
Cool.
he's called,
Alex
yes, a
calls.
nice hand, King Jack.
Don't think Moore will be overly thrilled to see that.
Pass.
Hussein's got the cards Moore's been having.
What's he got? Jack 6. Now, we're going to be heads up for this then, I think.
Pass.
Oh, we've got to see what Willie's got. Queen 6.
Well, he-
suited.
He does have some money invested.
Yeah, I wouldn't fancy this somehow. No, exactly
And
right.
pass.
So Moore
yeah.
hoping that he can flop something with that
Well, let's see.
7-8.
Let's see how he approaches this now.
King.
Well,
King.
he's in massive trouble if he tries anything here.
The only thing is he's got no
Checks.
part of it, so as soon as Alex does pull the trigger, may
And
not be
check.
yet, he'll be out of there.
Queen.
Full house now, just to make sure there's no problem with the win.
Check.
12.
He's thinking,
12.
please God, have a queen.
Alex bets 12,000.
Pass.
Yeah.
Wins
And
the
Moore's
hand.
out of there
Yeah.
quicker. And you can say Jack
He's-
Robinson.
He's unlucky. This is what happens in the game. You know, you get so card dead, and you pick up something like that, and you think it's a good hand, and you put your chips in, and that's what happens.
Chelsea or Barcelona?
Barcelona.
Chelsea. I hate them both.
Top hat or beret?
Beret.
Top hat.
Top up.
Lapland or lap dancing?
Lap dancing. Lap dance.
Lap dancing. For television, Lapland.
Kilt or lederhosen?
You lost me, you know.
Do I have to pick?
Lederhosen, for sure. A kilt, 100% a kilt.
Monte Carlo or Las Vegas?
Las Vegas for sure.
I'll start again. I thought it was going to be Monte Carlo. It's got to be Las Vegas. Las Vegas, 100%, yeah.
Bloom is the short stack here with 57,000, and the next time the blinds are raised, which won't be too far coming, 3 and 6, he'll start to feel the
Multiply.
pinch.
Pass.
Yeah,
4.
you definitely have to start moving at the next level. You know, unless you've got 120 plus, you've got to start making some moves, even just to protect your stack, really. Let's see what he's picked up. 10-6.
Pass.
We haven't had too many collisions so far, but
Pass.
the cards have almost
2.
dictated that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We haven't seen anyone make a move, apart from Tony trying to make a move against aces. That's about all we've seen so far.
Case of bad timing.
I think it'll change. Well, it'll have to change.
Well, here's a hand for more that's playable.
No raise.
Again, what we said earlier, the Jack Queen in a big blind. It's a nice hand to
King.
catch the flop.
4. Ace.
Well,
Check all bet.
he's got a straight draw.
Check.
You know, he's got a fancy that Bloom ain't got the ace or king, or he'd have probably pumped it
Check.
up a little bit.
2.
You know, because Bloom's only short stacked. If he'd have had an ace in a small blind, he would have definitely raised.
And now I think Bloom senses weakness in more.
Yeah.
So he's bet.
Well, it actually looks a stronger bet checking it and then betting it out than on the turn.
It's 5,000 more to the Estonian.
Yeah, and these two guys in the middle, Moore and Worth, I mean, they're both qualified off of Betfair. And, you know, they've shown they can both play good stuff, haven't they? I think gone are the days of the internet qualifier, you know, being regarded as a soft touch.
61,000 for Tony Bloom. It's not good, but it's better than it was. You're watching the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. Ash Hussain is first to act. 10 Jack out of position.
Let's see what Thomas picks up. Well, I fancy a raise with this.
12.
Yeah, Thomas makes it 12,000 to play.
See if he gets any action anywhere.
He won't from the chip leader or from Tony Bloom. What's Moore got?
Well, I don't think he'd be playing these either. You know, you're asking for a miracle. Unless you've got it in your mind you're going to make a move on the flop, you're asking for an absolute miracle.
Well, especially just by flat calling.
Yeah.
Oh, and look at Worth.
Well,
I think this will be raised up.
I'm not so sure. Yeah, I
Three-way.
didn't think he would. I mean, Ace Jack ain't. Once you've got two people in the pot, you don't want to be raising with Ace Jack. 'Cause if someone comes over the top, you've got to throw it.
6, 9, 10 with 2 diamonds on the flop.
Check.
I think whoever bets first will be getting this one.
Jack would make
And
more a
check.
straight.
9.
Here's the board.
I think Thomas is going to be the most likely person to bet this.
That Jack kicker is keeping Worth in front.
And he won't mind here, he's got an ace, so you know, he looks like he's going to bet, but with the ace he won't mind checking. You know, you'd want to check it down. But for sure, if he did check, I mean, Thomas would have been betting there.
14.
8, of course, would make Dolrus a straight, but
14,000.
he was drawing pretty thin.
And these sort of bets, in the position he was in there, all about the size of the bet totally. You know, if he don't make it enough, it's a sign of weakness, and someone could quite easily come over the top of him. He looks like he wants to play, don't he?
14,000 more. He's only basically got a gut shot. Has to put it down, and Worth has now taken over the chip lead by virtue of that pot. He has 154,000. Well, someone once said there are no prizes for coming second, and that's entirely correct in this tournament. Just the winner will go through to the final, and Torsen with a nice
11.
pocket pair.
Yeah.
William makes it 11,000 to play.
We've seen some jacks out. I think that's about the 4th time we've seen the jacks.
Pass. Pass.
Well, it's been passed round to Ash, is it? What's he? Oh, ace queen. Well, let's see how strong he plays this.
And suited as well.
I think he re-raise.
Raise.
And raise.
7 plus. How much?
With 22.
A sizable raise from
33,000.
Hussain.
22,000 more. 33,000 to play.
I've got an idea William might come over the top again here. I don't know why, I just got the feeling. I mean, yeah, there you go, he's all in.
All the chips are going to be over the
all
line.
in.
And now Hussain has a huge decision. Torsen actually had him covered in chips, so this will be for his tournament life if he calls and loses.
Well, depending on how many Ash's got left, I think he'll be passing, Trevor. I think he'll be passing because he's got enough chips to carry on.
6.
Yeah, I'd like to have a look at the heartbeats now. Wow, 145. I bet Ash is a bit lower.
Well, Torsen knew there were only 3 hands, 3 better starting hands, and he was inviting Hussein,
108,000 more.
if he didn't have one of those, to draw for his tournament life.
Well, he's having a count up, Ash. 133. Let's see if it goes up or down. Oh, it's starting to go up. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. It's getting. It's in the 140s.
Call a medic.
Too quick. You ain't got nothing. Have you?
Yeah, he's clever.
He's trying to talk himself into this, isn't he?
The thing is, I think look, Tony Bloom's having a look round. Where's the tournament director? Ain't he brought that clock over?
Well, Barry Money.
Yeah, he's cold. He's cold. He's cold.
Calls.
So we're off to the races.
He'll like this when
William
he sees
shows
it.
pocket jacks.
There you go. He ain't in bad shape.
And
He won't like it.
shows ace
Guarantee.
queen.
Does not want to see any aces or queens or diamonds come to that.
Monkey. William.
10, 5.
Oh, there's the queen.
There you go.
Hussein
queen.
hits the flop head on. And now Torsen is a big dog.
Let's have a look. Wow, look at this. 158 his heart rate. 160. You better call an ambulance.
9.
Up and down
So
draw
9.
for Torsen.
Well, he's just got 8 more outs.
TV9.
Oh,
man.
no. 8, 9,
William
10,
hits
jack,
the straight.
queen. That is a nightmare for Hussein. He had the better of it to start with, to be fair, Torsen, but when Hussein hit the queen on the flop, it looked all over. But Hussein has to go.
The way I thought to myself, there's nothing for second prize, you've got to go for the win. I thought, if I'm going to gamble, I've put a third of my stack in now, let's gamble. And I didn't think I was any worse than even money anyway, and I turned them over, ace, queen of diamonds against a pair of jacks. You know, I was happy with that.
Action is going to be on Alex Worth, who has stayed largely out of range of the chip leader.
Yeah, I like the way he's been playing, Trevor. He's been keeping out of the way, as you just said. You know, he knows he's got 150,000 chips. He can just bide his time, pick off one of these small stacks, and he's got every chance to go up against Willie heads up. There you go. Thomas has got another nice hand. Ace 7.
Started out with just 52,000.
17 total.
And a third of those are now in the middle.
Pass.
Thomas bet
Pass.
17,000.
11 more.
If this is Queen 5 again, I'm going to go down and shuffle the deck myself. No, there you go.
Not
King
much
deuce.
better. Certainly not against a big raise.
I think we only see, what's he
Pass
picked
and
up? He's had
folds.
Ace Queen.
Thomas
I
wins the
think a
hand.
small pair, and that's it.
Another victory, albeit a small one for the Walrus.
Yeah.
He's moved above Tony Bloom into 4th. It's almost as if the bottom 3, more Belarus and Bloom, having their own personal battle for the bronze medal here.
Yeah, none of them will be thinking about bronze though. 100 mile an hour. They want the gold. Chip leaders passed. Tony Bloom with a button. Ace 6, yeah, he'll be playing
Ace
this.
16 total.
16.
Tony makes it 16,000 to play.
There's our man here.
13 more.
Martin Moore. What you got, Martin?
He's got a hand, Ian.
Well, he's going to be re-raising for sure. And I don't... I suppose Tony can get off this. 49 before he put a chip in, so...
Well, it's only 10 more to call. We know he's going to do at least that. They're all going in. All in, he says.
Moved all
I've had
in.
no cards. I finally hit some.
Pass.
I want to see 5 more.
I think he can get away from it. I mean, you know, this guy's played 3 hands in the whole heat, so he's good enough to get
Passes
away
the
from
hand.
that.
Martin wins the hand.
So finally some chips for Martin Moore, who's Got a few supporters in, obviously. Well, that is the marker of Tony Bloom. He's called the Lizard.
The upside down lizard now.
Apparently given to him, that name given to him by an old friend who claimed he had alligator blood, which doesn't sound very complimentary to me.
Well, he probably got bit by one, that's why. Oh, Martin, look, he's picked up a nice end now, pair of 10. See, when they come, they're like buses.
Are they all going in again? Is it going to be a more subtle move?
It was a more subtle move.
Martin makes it 17,000 to play.
Oh, Alex has got ace-9 here, so
14.
He might be thinking about a move here.
He knows though that he has the chip leader.
Yeah. That's good play. Good play from him. You know, he's playing well with his stack.
And what has Valrus got? He's got a monster. Cowboys.
He's got the Cowboys. He must be thinking, what's the best way to get the chips here?
I think Moore is going to be almost physically sick in a moment, because they're all going to go in here one way or t'other, you suspect. Can Moore possibly get off his 10s to this re-raise?
I doubt it. I doubt it very much. Thomas, that probably what he's worried about. He don't want to lose his customer. You know, he's thinking if I come over the top now, I might lose him. Whereas I let him see a flop, he's likely to come out and bet it.
Raise.
$32 more.
Quite high, the heart rate of Valrus, but
it's not moving though. He feels fairly comfortable.
Thomas raises 32,000 more.
Well, this is throw him away or throw him all in.
Well, I don't know. He's getting higher. Yeah, he's going to call.
He wants to play, and he's going to be very, very disappointed when Valrus turns his card over. His card's over. He's drawing dead to a 10 virtually.
Martin shows.
These art rates are fantastic, ain't they, Trevor? I mean, we know what they're going to do before they do.
Shake of the head from Moore as he sees the bad news. He needs a 10. He's got one!
Do you know what? I was just going to say we're going to get a big ooh-ah in a minute.
5. 3 10s for Martin.
A king, of course, would put Valrus back ahead. Only 2 left in the deck.
3.
Turn cards are 3.
It's got to be a king. It's not, and that's a great win for Moore. And it means the end of Valrus. Moore's had no cards. He was a big underdog there when they went on their backs. But he hit his set, and it means Valrus has to leave us with the answer
61. William is he's fairly experienced, and he's been playing on TV tails before, so I don't think he feels the same pressure as some of the other guys might. And he's an experienced player, so I think William's going to win this.
You're watching another intriguing heat of the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. We're four-handed. The chip leader is that man, William Thorsen from Sweden, with nearly half the chips in play. And you can see as well that Tony Bloom, the short stack, is in deep trouble. He's only got 33,000. The blind's currently 3 and 6, but very shortly they'll be up to 5 and 10. And effectively, Ian, he's on the respirator.
Yeah, I think whatever he gets in the next 2 rounds, his chips will be in the middle. Yeah, Trevor, he can't afford to wait any longer. Anything matching as far as I'm concerned. Let's hope he finds something nice and gets it in there. Oh, well, there you go. This is good enough. This is well good enough. The Lizard. Oh, he's even drawing it out a bit now.
Well, his opponents know that he's so short, he doesn't need too much to push those chips over the line.
Okay, Tony raises to 15,000.
That actually looks like a you know, a big hand, don't it?
It's almost more suspicious, isn't it, than throwing the lot in?
Yeah, of course.
Well, Moore's got a hand, a suited ace.
Well, he would have definitely got a call if he'd have gone all in, I fancy. If he'd have gone all in, you know, Martin would have been calling him here. He might think twice, see? The
Pass.
It's really good instincts from the Estonian.
Pass. 9 more.
What's he got, chip leader? Queen deuce for 9 more thousand.
He's got lots of chips.
But the thing is, though, you know, you mustn't feed the birds at this. You know, all right, if he had Queen 10, something like that, then yeah, he's got a good chance. What do we want to be giving chips to Tony for? If he gets them, you know, it'd be more next time he shoves them in. Just let him have them and carry on. That's it.
Pass.
Okay, Tony wins the hand.
Well, he assessed the situation, made the right decision. Much needed chips for Tony Bloom, but not enough of them. He's still in big trouble. Just one place available on the final table for the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe, and a first prize of $120,000. Alex Worth with suited semi-connectors.
Well, he'll be raising for sure, Tony, here with the ace-8. They've all sort of relaxed into it. Instead of stepping the pace up a bit, which is what you should be doing, they've all sort of lolled back into their chairs. He's going to raise, it's just a case of how much. I think he's probably, what's going through his mind is he wants to get some chips off of this guy. He's trying to work out the best way. It's small blind against big blind.
18 total.
Not a big raise. Martin Moore will surely go back over the top here.
Yeah. I think Tony's in trouble here. I bet his heart rate's gone up a few knots. What do I do? What do I do? Let's see where it's going. 118, 120. All in. He's all in.
Here's a question for Bloom to consider. He's only got about 30,000 left. He's virtually pot committed here. He'd be leaving 40% of his original stack in the middle if he throws away his ace.
He ain't got a lot. He's on the back foot, whatever happens. You know, he knows this. Yeah, he's got to put it in.
It's a crying call from Bloom. He knows he's behind and he's right.
Nice check.
And now he is drawing very thin.
Spades. Martin has ace.
Needs to see a snowman or some spades.
Need it.
I bet the turn's an exciting card, whatever the flop.
4, king, and 7.
No luck so far.
4, king, 7.
We'll struggle to get an exciting card here.
Well, spade would make it interesting.
10.
It must be an 8. There's nothing else for Bloom. Here's the river.
I think we're going to be down to 3.
It's not there.
10.
And Tony Bloom has to go, taken down by the Estonian. Martin Moore looked like he was on the comeback trail, Bloom, but his ace-8 was out-kicked. And we're down to 3.
William's obviously the favourite. He's got the most chips. He's the best player left. He seems fairly in control, but these short-handed satellites, anything can happen. So.
We're in London for the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe.
Well, there's a call here. There's a call from William. 7-8 suited. Nice hand. Let's see what Martin. This is a nice hand as well, 3-handed. You know, you want to see a flop. I think this is probably the first time we've had all the players in looking at a flop.
3-way action.
Well, there's a good card. There's a good card to start with.
And 3.
The other two are a bit no-no, but...
Top pair then for Moore. He's got a nice kicker.
Check.
Surprised he's checked it, though.
Well, it's because the other two cards are so bad. You know, he's going to let someone have a stab at it and then probably go over the top.
If it comes an overcard, though,
Yeah, Alex bets 12,000.
might slow down. As far as
Raise
betting
William
after the turn.
raises
To 30,000.
Wow, that's a bit of a play. That's a bit of a play. What's this guy doing now?
You can see the look of bewilderment there momentarily on Moore's face.
He's going to pass this. I think he's going to pass it. I can't see it myself. Do you know what I mean? Because if William's got a massive hand, he's not going to be betting like that. So he's either got to put him on a stone cold bluff or maybe 2 hearts at the best.
And Torson interpreted that check
Yeah, he's passed it. It's unbelievable.
as a sign of weakness, didn't he?
Yeah.
And if he had bet it, Torson would have thrown his cards away.
Yeah. You know, there's
18 more.
There's a million ways to win and lose at this game.
Oh, of course there is. Of course there is. You think you're being cute at first by checking the hand. They take it as someone as powerful as William with the chips he's got. Straight over the top of the first guy. You have to pass.
Alex
What a great
passes.
play.
William wins the hand.
An absolute steal. But thieving is not just allowed at the poker table, it's positively encouraged.
But I mean, that's a little bit of experience that the other guy hasn't got, you know. If he sat there and thought about the hand, you know, he had every right to go in over the top there.
The buy-in for this heat was $7,500. They're trying to turn it into 120 by winning the final. To get there, they have to win this heat first, and Alex Worth's got a suited ace.
Yeah, he'll be raising this up, won't he? Let's see. 18. See, that's
18 total.
That's a better sort of bet, 18,000. Well, there you go. 15 more. He's got the kings.
He's getting the cards at vital times as well.
You're right, and this is what it's all about, poker time. And yeah, I like that.
Beautiful
like
flat call.
Yeah, good.
And he's good enough to get away from this if an ace were to come on the flop.
Well, he's playing the hand exactly right. You know, this is how you'd want to be playing. If you put the other guy on ace bit, it's perfect because ace comes, you get off it straight away. You don't like throwing them away, but it is easy to do. You know, he's not risking too much.
Hearts may yet get him in trouble. Let's see a
I think
flop.
if we see ace king, there'll be
7. Check.
Oh,
Ace.
there is the ace.
Yeah.
Well, now we'll see whether Torson is good enough
Check
to get rid of these kings.
Well, I think he will because you know that's why he's flat called obviously to try and slow play the kings and get weighed in with them. But good enough if this guy plays the ace strong enough, he'll pass.
18.
Bad news for Torson. We saw more
Alex
pass
bets
the king.
18,000.
You might just see one call.
So he's after
Just
the
one call to find out. You know, he's just asking the question if he has got the ace.
He's after the
Call.
case king,
Yeah.
or runners. Running diamonds would work, but it's a big ask. Well, there's one of them.
3.
Wow.
He knows he'll have the ace
Check.
flush if a diamond comes.
And he'll probably check here as well, Worth. Because he's flat called him, he might be here, you
Check.
see.
Well, he's
Nice
allowing
check.
Torson
The
the
room
possibility
five.
of hitting this diamond, or
Ace.
as it is, he's made a set of
Well,
aces.
that might be bad news for William. That might be bad news for him. It depends how much he throws in.
William bets 16,000.
Oh, well,
16.
no, he's played that call because he can only lose a 16.
What should Worth do here? Smallish re-raise?
Yeah, it depends. If he's putting the other guy on an ace, then he'll probably just flat call and be happy with the chips. But if he thinks he's in front, he's going to raise.
Raise.
There you go.
Raise.
His heart's going to pop out the top of his head in a minute. It's on 157.
Ambulance on the way, but it's a great re-raise.
20 more.
And it's only 20,000 more.
Yeah.
It's a really tempting crying call for Torson.
He won't call it, will he?
I think he's intrigued to know what Worth has got, you know.
What's the
but
pot size here?
well, the pot is 130,000.
Well, thing is, he knows he's he knows he's up against the ace, but it's 138,000 in the pot, and it's 20 more on him. So it's almost automatic to put it in. But he knows he's beat. There you go.
Calls.
He knows he's beat.
Well, he has made the call. I thought that was particularly well played post flop from Worth. He's got the absolute maximum I think he could have got.
He sure did, yeah.
Aces.
He sure did.
Wins the hand.
Wins.
Set of aces beats the pocket kings.
The lines are now 5,000, 10,000.
And that really has changed the leaderboard.
223,000. He's got to be feeling really cool.
He's more than doubled his stack from its lowest point. First prize in the final is $120,000. You're guaranteed $19,000 just for being there if you win your heat.
10 to
One of
play.
these three will be taking their seat in that showpiece.
30. Pass.
Let's see what he's got. Martin. And he has a little pause. He's normally got a couple of nice cards. That's the pause. There you go. Let's see what he's got. There, King, Queen.
And suited. And again, he's just going to call.
Yeah, I don't think it's being cute. I think it's more being
7,
very wary.
8, 7. Check or bet.
Well, let's see who's got the
Check.
initiative here.
Worth didn't exercise his option to raise. Now he's reaching. Just wonder if he gets the feeling he can outplay more after the flop.
35.
Well, this does happen quite a lot. I mean, if you do get that feeling, then you must not be sticking in big raises with medium cards and play more flops with a guy. You know, wait for your blinds to match up. There you go. See, he's took that down.
And it's worked again.
Yeah.
He puts down the better hand more, and Worth will increase his chip lead. We're in London for the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. Tournament director Barry Mundy will be announcing increased blinds. Next level will be 7 and 15. Fascinating comment from Alex Worth, who basically makes his living playing poker and sports betting. He says, I'm not really the type of guy who's suited to work. Would suggest you use that line at the employment office.
Well, I don't think any of us are that.
Pass.
Well, let's see what he does. He knows he's got 55,000 now. He's all in here with a king.
And Martin's moved all in.
Wow, he might get a call here.
He might well do.
He knows he's desperate. He knows he's desperate.
I think Moore has more supporters here, but Alex Worth has a better hand, more chips, and he's giving this a very,
40,
very thorough consideration.
8.
55
Yeah, 55.
Yeah, we're all in here from Moore.
55 total.
40 more.
It's 40,000 more. He came into the hand with nearly 240. He'd still be a live contender if he calls and loses.
Yeah,
and he has made the call.
I fancied he was going to call him.
And he will see that he is a favourite.
Martin shows King 6. Alex shows Ace 5.
He's going to need to see some kings or sixes. There is one of them.
Man.
10, King 9.
He's had the best of it when he's been all in, that's for sure, more. An ace would be bad news, of course. 9 to kings now. He needs to see a bullet Worth.
I've seen it a load of times on the river.
But not this time.
It was an 8.
And he goes from worst to first. He stays
Martin
in.
doubles up.
And he's got 6-figure chips again. Here's how they stand. Torsen still has almost half the chips in play. Moore is on the comeback trail, but Plenty more work to do for him. Some of the best players from all over the continent have come to London for this Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe.
Yeah, and the 3 guys that are out of this heat, unfortunately now, I mean, they definitely rank amongst the finest around Europe. And we're left.
Raise 35 to
Everybody makes it 35,000 to play.
Well, we know that Thorson has had a very, very impressive finish in the main event in Vegas.
28.
More looking down at Queen 7.
Let's see, he looks like, yeah, he passes. These are a nice hand here for Alex. I mean, these 2 internet qualifiers have been playing some fantastic stuff here today, and Alex especially. I think he's played good.
All in.
All in.
Alex has moved all in.
And he's calling.
William calls. We have a call. We have a showdown. William shows King Jack.
He wants to make something happen.
Yeah.
But this is a great chance for
Alex
Worth
shows
to double
Ace
through.
6.
He's a narrow favourite. Thorson needs to see a king or a jack.
Wow.
And the ace comes off straight away. Oh, 2 pair.
2.
That was Ace 6 deuce.
The save's drawing thin now.
If you're looking for a
Thorson be an
heart,
understatement.
Queen.
A 10 would make
Turn
him
card's
a
a queen.
straight. It's the only card. Anything else worth doubles through? It's not there. Jack's not enough. 2 pair
2 pairs.
for Alex Worth, and that's a huge pot
doubles
for
up.
him. He's the chip leader now.
Absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. That was a real funny call from William, wasn't it? You know, it was almost nonchalant the way he called.
261,000 he has. And after all the hard work that Thorson has done,
Yeah.
he's 100,000 behind the leader. Something of a contrast between the relative experience of these players. Thorson, who finished 13th in the main event
Pass.
in Las Vegas.
8 more.
Almost $1 million prize against Alex Worth.
42 total.
Yeah, I mean, that's just absolutely leagues apart from what they're playing now.
Martin Moore and Alex Worth, neither of them have got too much live experience.
27 more.
That's why this poker's such a fantastic game, Trevor. I mean, you know, you got 2 regular online players, and they got the chance to sit down with someone who got to the last 2 tables in the World Series, you know, and they're more than holding their own against him. There's no other sport in the world you can do this with.
Can't really call. $27 more to me, only had Jack 9. More power to Thorson stack. He's well over 200,000 now on the comeback trail.
We can take a break after the time. And
We're still no nearer to knowing who is going to go through to the final of the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. Still 3-handed. Worth is the chip leader. Thorson has got more than 200,000. More the short man. He's got 112,000 currently.
Well, he's thinking about something here, Trevor. No, he's passed.
8.
Alex, he's seen this hand a few times, ace 8.
Suited.
He's raising, yeah.
40.
There's a sizable raise for Thorson to consider.
Wow. Now let's see how he's going to play this.
All in.
He's all in.
Really strong move
All in.
It's 80.
from the Swede.
Oh, he don't like it, does he? Look. No, he definitely doesn't like this. You know, he's had it once with him. His heart rate is nowhere near. I mean, he's been up to 160 before, so he's definitely not calling.
Well, he can get away from this. Okay, I'll lose the 40,000 he put in, but he's still in perfectly decent shape.
Yeah, of course he is.
You can just tell from his demeanour, he knows it would be a real gamble.
He's passing. Oh, he's called. He's called.
He has called with ace-8 suited.
It's Jack.
William must think it's Christmas.
Jack.
Well, yes,
Alex
although
shows ace-8 of diamonds.
438,000 in this pot, Trevor.
But don't forget, it's Torsen whose tournament life is at stake here.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to see an 8 all diamonds.
Whoa.
There are two of them.
Man. Oh, the Queen's
One more diamond could spell the end of Torsen's tournament.
4.
Well,
Turn card is a 4.
He's
and
having
we've
to
got some split pots here as well now.
Yep, he's sweating on the river here.
Yeah. Oh.
He had to really sweat it, didn't he? You could almost see that visible intake of breath. And I think Alex Worth is going to live to really regret that call.
Wow, look at that. He's 438. 112 to 50.
What was going through Worth's mind when he made that
I
call?
don't know. I mean, his heart rate went down. He was showing all the signs that he was going to pass.
Our tournament director, Barry Mundy, has just raised the blinds to 10 and 20,000. None of these three want to go.
20 to play.
Two of them are going to have to.
Pass.
Yeah, and Alex is still well under pressure here, you know, with 10-20. It's a nice hand. Well, he didn't mess around.
Big raise. Those greens are 10,000 apiece.
Yeah, that's an all-in, as good as an all-in anyway. Let's see what he picks up.
William makes it 190,000.
He's got an ace.
He's got ace-8. Well, let's see if he's got the bit of...
190.
Let's see if he's got the bottle to put his chips in here.
And he must have worked out, he's seen that Torsen is capable of trying to buy pots with far less than ace-8.
If he don't get them in here, he'll definitely be getting them in later on with worse. You know.
He knows he's capable of making a move.
Yeah, well, he should do by now, shouldn't he? It's been happening for the last 2.5 hours. He's going to put it down.
Pass.
Oh,
William
man.
wins the hand.
When he gets his chips in, he'll be behind.
This is hand 108. And we've seen that Moore needs usually very good starting cards to put a bet in. What has Worth got? 10-2 suited. Dawes Brunson won the World Championship twice with that hand. All in, he says. So gutsy play from Worth.
What's that?
What's you got there?
100 total and 110.
Oh, cool.
It's a great call.
All in, and
You have to
William
have a hand
calls.
every
110 total.
He smelt a rat.
He'll be double pleased when he sees the cards.
All in.
William shows King 5.
But still 5 cards to come.
Alex has 10 deuce.
8, 3.
One more diamond works.
Oh, mate, again the diamonds. This is exactly what he had last time against
He's having to sweat again. 2 or a 10 would be good as well.
6.
That's no good.
Another bullet dodged.
River to come. 2, 10 or a diamond.
5.
We're heads up.
It's not there.
We're heads up.
And eventually Alex North has to go.
Alex.
It was a gutsy play with the 10-2, but Torsen saw through it. He's out in third, Alex North. He's played well, and we're heads up.
I think I played quite well considering it's my first TV tournament especially, so a bit disappointed with that ace-8 hand.
We are heads up in this heat of the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. And there's your chip leader, William Torsen, who's been very impressive so far. The shorter stack is the Estonian Martin Moore. And he has a 3-1 chip disadvantage more against his more experienced Swedish opponent.
Good luck.
This may not last too long, Ian.
Well, you wouldn't have thought so, Trevor. The way the game's gone, I mean, you would just automatically think that Willie's going to run right over him here. But this is poker, and we never know.
Well, one successful double through, of course, and they'd be all square. Moore could manage that. Cards in the air, first hander heads up. First to act will be the chip leader.
Well, he's got a king. I mean, that's quite a big hand heads up. There you go. He's not messing around, is he? Wang. He's put him all in straight away.
And from what we've seen of Moore so far, he'd need an absolute monster to call that. You know, ace 10 he'd lay that
He's
down.
called. Look, you're saying now, I can't believe he's called. What did I say to you earlier?
You're right, he's called with the worst of it.
He's going to wind up putting his chips in with the worst.
Diamonds are no good. This might end the first hander heads up unless an 8 or a 7 comes.
Absolutely unbelievable.
He didn't even think about it very long. Here's the flop.
Ace, jack.
None of that's any good for Martin Moore. He needs a 7 or an 8.
Five.
7 or 8.
That's his lot.
It's not there. And it's a result. Just the first hand of heads up. William Tawson had a huge chip lead. Martin Moore called with suited connectors. He didn't hit. And the man who was 13th at the main event in Vegas last year.
Are we down here?
He won around about $1 million for that. He's now going to have the chance to add 120,000 more.
I'm quite happy with my game. I made some minor mistakes, but not something significant. So it was probably the best tournament player. No mistakes, and I'm pretty happy.
I feel really good and relieved now. It's been a pretty long day, and when we got down to the final 3, it was pretty tough. They hang in there all the time. So, but I made it. Feels really good.